Welcome to the comfy zone. Make yourself at home.
I've always been a fan of the strange and the surreal, which is why I found myself drawn to the Skibidi Toilet series on YouTube. The bizarre spectacle of toilets with men's heads, singing and dancing, waging war against men with cameras for heads. It was a kind of madness that I found oddly captivating. But I never expected that my fascination would pull me into a world of terror and confusion. It was a night like any other. I was alone in my apartment, the glow of my laptop screen illuminating my face as I watched the latest episode of Skibidi Toilet. The absurdity of the scene unfolding on the screen made me chuckle. But then, something strange happened. The screen started to flicker, the image distorting and twisting. I tried to refresh the page, but the video remained frozen on a frame of a Skibidi toilet, its human face twisted into a grotesque grin. Suddenly, I felt a strange sensation, like a pull from the screen. Before I could react, I was sucked into the laptop. Everything was a blur, and then darkness. When I opened my eyes, I was standing in the middle of a city street, but it wasn't my city. The buildings were distorted. The sky, a sickly yellow color, and then I saw them, the Skibidi toilets. They were everywhere, singing and dancing in the streets. I felt a chill run down my spine. This was the world of Skibidi Toilet, and I was in it. I tried to move, to run, but my body wouldn't respond. I looked down and gasped. My body was no longer my own. I was a Skibidi toilet. Panic surged through me as I tried to scream, but the only sound that came out was the Skibidi song. As I sang and danced against my will, I saw them, the cameramen. They were watching from the rooftops, their camera heads whirring and clicking. I could feel their gaze on me, cold and calculating. Suddenly, one of them jumped down from the rooftop, landing with a thud in front of me. He was taller than I had imagined, his suit immaculate, his camera head whirring as it focused on me. I tried to back away, but my new body wouldn't respond. I was rooted to the spot, my voice still singing the Skibidi song. Then, without warning, the cameraman lunged at me. His hand, cold and metallic, gripped my porcelain body. I could feel a jolt of electricity coursing through me, causing my song to distort into a garbled mess. His camera had started to glow, a blinding light that made me squint. Suddenly, I felt a sharp pain in my head, like 1,000 needles piercing my skull. I tried to scream, but no sound came out. I could feel my consciousness fading, my vision blurring. The last thing I saw was the cameraman's glowing camera head, and the last thing I heard was the distorted Skibidi song echoing in my ears. Then everything went black. When I came to, I was lying on the cold, hard ground. My head was throbbing, and my body felt heavy. I tried to get up, but my body wouldn't respond. I was trapped, unable to move, unable to speak, in a world of madness and war. The terror of my situation was overwhelming, a creeping dread that consumed me as I lay helpless on the ground, the Skibidi song still echoing in my head. As I lay there, immobilized and silenced, the Skibidi toilets around me continued their grotesque dance, oblivious to my plight. The cameramen watched from the rooftops, their camera heads whirring and clicking in a chilling symphony of surveillance. The world around me was a nightmare, and I was trapped in its unending loop. Suddenly, I felt a strange sensation. It was as if something was crawling inside me, slithering and writhing. I tried to scream, but no sound came out. I could only watch in horror as a man's head slowly emerged from my toilet bowl, its features mirroring my own. It looked at me with my own eyes, a twisted smile on its face as it began to sing the Skibidi song. The realization hit me like a punch to the gut. I was not just trapped in the world of Skibidi Toilet. I had become a part of it. I was the Skibidi Toilet, and the man's head was me. I was trapped in this grotesque form, doomed to sing and dance in this war-torn world for eternity. As the man's head continued to sing, its voice a distorted echo of my own, I felt a sense of despair wash over me. I was lost, trapped in a world of madness, my existence reduced to a bizarre spectacle for the cameramen's amusement. In the midst of my despair, I noticed something. One of the cameramen seemed different. His suit was tattered, and his camera had flickered intermittently. I remembered from the series that there was a cameraman who had once tried to rebel, to end the war. Could this be him? A glimmer of hope sparked within me. If I could, somehow, communicate with him, maybe he could help me escape this nightmare. With all the willpower I could muster, I tried to control my new body, to stop the singing and dancing. For a brief moment, I succeeded. The singing stopped, and I was able to turn my gaze towards the cameraman. I tried to convey my desperation, my plea for help, through my eyes. For a moment, our gazes met, and I thought I saw a flicker of understanding in his lens. But then, the singing started again, louder and more distorted than before. My body resumed its grotesque dance, and my gaze was torn away from the cameraman. I watched in despair as he turned away, disappearing into the crowd of cameramen. My brief moment of hope was shattered, replaced by a deeper sense of dread. I was trapped in the world of Skibidi Toilet, a prisoner in my own body with no hope of escape. Just when I thought things couldn't get any worse, I felt a new sensation. A low rumble started from deep within me, growing louder and more intense. It was a sound I recognized from the series, the sound of a Skibidi Toilet preparing to launch an attack. Panic surged through me. I didn't want to attack anyone, but I was no longer in control. Suddenly, with the force that took my breath away, I felt myself launch forward. I was hurtling through the air, the world a blur around me. I crashed into a group of cameramen, their bodies toppling like dominoes. The impact was jarring, but I felt no pain. Instead, I felt a sick sense of satisfaction emanating from the man's head within me. It was enjoying this. As I lay there amidst the fallen cameramen, the Skibidi song resumed, louder and more triumphant than before. The other Skibidi Toilets joined in, their voices merging into a chilling chorus that echoed through the distorted cityscape. I was one of them now, a part of their grotesque symphony of war. As the reality of my situation sank in, I felt a sense of despair deeper than I'd ever known. I was trapped in this nightmare, a puppet in a never-ending dance of chaos. The terror of my existence was all-consuming, a chilling reminder of the eternal performance I was doomed to play. The Skibidi song echoed in my head, a haunting lullaby that promised no end, no escape, only the relentless dance of the Skibidi Toilet.